small businesses in America asking people to pay in cash, and they'll give you a 3.5% discount because of the credit card processing fees. Which, because I'm in retail, like I actually pay attention a lot to credit card processing fees, and I talk to my customers. I'm very curious about it. You know, if you ask most people, if I asked you on the spot what your credit card processing fee is,
no clue.
You wouldn't know.
No idea.
Nobody knows. It's a fucking scam.
Yeah.
100% it's a scam.
It's a scam.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Welcome to the pod. Happy Sunday night, Monday morning, whenever you're listening. We have no intro. It's fucking awesome. Let's get into it. What are you guys up to?
Well, we had a really
big members tent weekend.
Yeah, very members tent. So for pod listeners, if you recall, probably 6-7 weeks ago, we had members of the Tommy Group on the podcast. And the Tommy Group is the collective at USC that helps facilitate the NIL sponsorship money for the players.
Yep.
And this is for USC. And it was our friend John Terzian, Keyshawn Johnson, you know, very famous USC alumnus, a TV personality, and their partner, Avi, who was also on the podcast.
Yep.
And we had jokingly said on one of the episodes, hey, if Tommy Group ever fires up that plane to go to one of the big games, let us know.
Yeah.
Speaking of Colorado, I get a text a week or two later. He's like, we're going to Notre Dame. Do you guys want to join? And we're like, hell yeah, I've never been to a Notre Dame game.
Yeah.
And if you're a USC or a Notre Dame fan, it's like a 100-year-old rivalry.
Oh.
USC, it's college football.
If you're any football fan, it's one of
a rivalry.
Yeah.
It's one of the most like sacred games that happens every year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, you know, there's probably
it's like Michigan, Ohio State,
Yeah,
USC,
it's like one
Notre
of those-
Dame. It's like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like probably 30 big games that happen like that are like 100-year-old games.
Yep.
And so USC, Notre Dame is a huge one. And so, you know, got invited on, and I, so Avi just hooked us up. Obviously flew us there in great plane. And then
it was a great plane.
It was not a commercial flight.
it's one of those Van Nuys flights.
Oh.
And just like as him, his wife, Keyshawn Johnson, Lindale White, another USC star, our good friend Alex Holmes, also USC alumnus and star athlete there. And just, we go into Chicago.
Yep.
And
It gets really members tent after what?
Give me the full ride.
so we go to Chicago, we go to dinner at, you know, some steakhouse. It was fun. It was like a mellow night because we knew the next day was going to be like long.
Yep.
So Chicago night, everyone, a good meal, go back to our hotel, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Morning, wake up, everyone's, you know, doing their own thing. Go have, you know, a nice deep dish pizza.
Yeah, of course.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
And then, you know, a lot of people fly into Chicago, drive into South Bend, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like 2 hours away. And so that's what I assume we're doing.
Sure.
No.
What do you do, a helicopter?
Just flew right into South Bend.
Oh.
And I think the most fascinating thing about flying into South Bend, this is South Bend, Indiana. I've never been.
Wait, did you fly from Chicago to South Bend?
It's like a 15-minute flight.
It's like flying to Palm Springs.
No, but
Yes.
what's actually even more interesting about that like 20-minute journey was that the plane was stocked with food and snacks and drinks, and it's 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, people
What a
get
great
hungry.
life that is.
That's their job. I mean,
That's the ultimate luxury.
yeah,
What's a more truly life-enhancing luxury?
that's it. There's nothing.
It was spectacular.
I mean, I would say chef at home. Like, I think having a chef at home is attainable luxury. It's like a Coach bag.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
Coach
not
isn't
that
a-
expensive.
No,
Expensive,
that's my
but it's
point.
not fly private. Expensive.
No, that's my point.
Yeah.
If I was thinking about what is like an attainable goal that would have a tremendous impact on your life,
especially with a family.
With a family, is a chef.
That's true. Okay.
Right? Because I mean, eating out's disgusting.
Yeah, just with a family.
Yeah.
Or cooking, or I get it.
Yeah.
But man, it's so nice. If you could just truly, like if you owned a plane and you could just fly, you could afford to go wherever you want, whenever you want, the world would like become different.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
It's
like
smaller.
you could go to the Notre Dame game and be back the same day.
I mean, by the way, we'll talk about the whole experience. We land in South Bend. There's more private planes in this airport than in Vegas. Because that's how many people had chartered. Because it's not like South Bend, some hotbed for anything.
Yeah.
And so we end up landing and waiting for a car. And Keyshawn's standing out there. A guy comes up to Keyshawn and just, the front of the FBO.
Yeah.
And it's Kevin Plank, founder of Under Armour.
Yep.
And Keyshawn's telling a story how Kevin Plank, he's like, when I met this guy, he was selling T-shirts. And he was like, whoop-de-whoop, you should have a piece of the company. He's like, why? He's like, Adidas is giving me a lifetime deal. Why am I going to sign with a T-shirt company?
Yeah.
And so they were reminiscing about that.
From the 90s.
From the 90s. Notre Dame is sponsored by Under Armour.
Got it.
And whatever. We then go, hop in a Sprinter van, want to, load up a little pregame festivities.
Yeah.
Stop at the first liquor store we see.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Indiana.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Anything? Did you take back any of that racism talk you were saying?
I actually have a great
well, it's funny
take on that.
What was funny? What was funny was like the guy who looks like he was managing the store, like a white kid.
Yeah.
Him and his boys were like hanging outside. I thought they were just hanging out.
Yeah.
But then he came in and helped us. He's like, "Oh, what are you looking for?" And then I was like, we were like, "Oh, what's the situation at the stadium? Can you take stuff in?" He's like, "I don't know. I've never been to a game." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "It's like a mile away."
Yeah.
He's like, "Fuck Notre Dame." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I would have been growing up. Yeah.
And so I was kind of surprised that just like towny. And by the way, like a desolate strip mall, all that's left to show for it is Check's Cash Place.
Yeah.
There's a
Boost
Dollar
Mobile.
General store.
What?
I think
Dollar General store.
Well, no, not in that strip mall. That strip mall itself was just a Boost Mobile, and so it's kind of sad.
I don't want to generalize or do any of that, but like I think even in small towns, like you're just either part of the party, or you're kind of like fuck the party.
Yes.
And even in there, like you would think like, oh, you live in South Bend, like of course you're going to be into the games, but like I think they probably view that as like fuck that.
Yeah, you see the classism even within like a 2 mile radius.
Yeah.
And then you get to the stadium area. There's like nice hotels, nice trendy restaurants, and it's basically an economy based around the stadium.
Funny how common that is. That's how Cleveland is.
Yeah. And you see that, right? And I think so. It was kind of an eye-opening thing. And then, these guys, the Tommy group and Avi and all the players that we were with, arranged for us to get pregame field passes. This is like USC, Notre Dame pregame, and a lot of the former players of USC were there. Yeah. Matt Leinart was a good friend. Yeah. Frosty Rucker, Damian Williams. These are people that we've known for like 15, 20 years.
So for you guys, like you didn't know that, right? I mean, you might have assumed it, but you didn't know that. You didn't talk to them. So you just went there and there's all these people you know.
Yes.
You just had a blast.
Yeah. And then the game is about to start and we're still on the field. And normally they just kick you off.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking around and our crew, everyone's like, yeah, well, just don't leave.
Yeah.
So we ended up watching the entire game from the side of the field.
Oh my God.
It's so ridiculous because I started getting DMs. Yo, are you next to Keyshawn Johnson?
Yeah, really? we got a lot of pictures sent. We were on TV the whole time.
Just looking like a couple of coaches fucking lost out there.
So my race rant about this is if you looked at our group, right? So it's 2 Indian dudes.
Yep.
That definitely don't belong on the field. Keyshawn's a superstar.
Yeah.
But he definitely belongs on the field.
Yeah.
And then Avi and his wife, they're Israeli. And Lendale, he's a superstar, so he should be on the field.
Yeah.
But none of us like fit the mold of like what you would think should be on the field at a Notre Dame USC game.
Yeah.
And they were so freaking nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were insanely nice. Like they didn't bother us. The ushers were like, cheer, but just don't cross the field.
But even going
of
back,
course we're not going to do that.
Don't run the ball.
Yeah, but even just going to the bathroom or whatever, so nice, so accommodating. You go there, go to the right. Even at the stadium where we should go. This is why, like, I think like Middle America always gets a bad rap.
No, but I think this is why you have to leave the bubble to realize the world's not as scary as you think.
Yeah.
Like we were in South Bend, Indiana, and everyone treated us insane. And obviously we were with, superstars, but we weren't the superstars. Yeah. Like they could have easily shitted on us, but they didn't.
That's why, like the thing, like the thing that gets me that I've just said a million times on the show is like, it almost seems like talking about racism constantly is one of the most racist things that you can do.
I think what has happened, and this goes back to what we were talking about last week regarding universities and how they've handled this whole situation in the Middle East. Do you understand the way that universities are set up? They almost promote segregation.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the Indian club. This is the Pakistani club. This is the Korean club. This is the Japanese club.
What do you mean almost? That's it?
Yeah.
And there was somebody who spoke out who was like included in one of the Harvard, she was on the list.
Yeah.
And she was like, I didn't even, just when you go to the school and you're a part of, that's your ethnicity, you're just automatically opted into the group.
Yeah.
So then when the group puts out a message, it auto signs that you did this.
And I think that's part of the problem is that like, we went out of the way to make sure, hey, you Indian person, do you feel okay? Do you feel comfortable? Hey, are you Mexican or are you from, El Salvador? I don't want to offend you.
Yeah.
And you made everyone feel so hypersensitive that like you then in your own mind start making all these narratives up about the world and everyone's out to get you.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, like with South Bend, specifically Notre Dame, it's the first time I've ever been.
Yeah.
We saw the crowd. We were the only diversity was our 8 people.
Which is funny that like the only diversity was the rich guys. Where the American story right now is it's the other way around.
No, exactly.
It should have been all white people on the field.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
But my point is they didn't treat us differently.
I know, but I'm just saying.
We didn't look like the entire stadium was one race.
I agree. So 2 points. Your point, totally get it. And then that's the other point is like, I just feel like the story probably in parts 5 miles from that stadium are like, hey, you'll never be one of those guys that flew in here, flew from Chicago private because you just have money to light on fire and you get to watch the fucking game from the sidelines. That's just the narrative.
Yeah.
When you guys turn around and all the brokies are white people.
Well, I mean, it's
just reality versus perception. And I just know, look, one of the reasons why I get so fired up about it is because I know coming from a small town, like the way people talk. And when people just talk that way, you just never go see for yourself. Because why would you?
Yeah.
And it's so damaging to a kid who, look, being born in Indiana or Ohio or whatever is like you're still hit the lottery for where to be born.
Yes.
But there's a lot of people born there that get like polluted with terrible fucking mind viruses and you never go try anything because you're talked out of it.
Yeah.
Because everyone hates you or everyone this is what you think. Or what
and I think that it was even more fascinating, like coming from USC, which, is historically been a predominantly white school.
Yeah.
Especially when we were there and then previous decades for sure. Now it's obviously more diverse, but what's interesting is like we are with someone who is a big supporter of USC football.
Yeah.
Right? And he's an Israeli immigrant.
Yeah.
Is one of the biggest supporters.
His story is amazing.
Yeah, like
right?
So it's like when you think about it from that perspective, what you thought a USC booster looks like and acts like is not what's actually happening.
Yeah. You know what was actually one of the coolest things of the weekend? Avi, who hosted us the entire weekend, said, USC gave me everything. I came here with nothing, and I want to give back.
Yeah.
And
which is crazy.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
And USC is very unique in the sense that people that have succeeded from USC, think about the people we all were with. They all were like, it's the same people from the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like Matt Leinart and, Lendell, we didn't know well, but whatever. The point is everyone keeps the community together.
Yeah.
And I think it's really unique to USC. And it's why I think you went in the first place.
I literally, when I was 16 years old, I was like, the only school I care about is going to is USC. And ironically, it kind of came into fruition this weekend as a full circle moment. I said, I want to go to USC because I want to live in LA for the rest of my life. I knew that when I was a kid. Like, this is the greatest city. We were fortunate to travel everywhere, and I was like, fuck everyone else. Then I knew the biggest camaraderie thing in life is sports. And I knew that if I went to a school that had a good football team, I would have a connection to the school forever.
And now you get to go all around LA with no wallet.
Literally.
Or South Bend.
Or Indiana.
Literally.
Chicago.
Because that's how many connections. I mean, I think that's the only thing left that is valuable, other than if you want to be a doctor, blah, 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 about these big schools.
Yeah, because what
the
was
community
really
in the relationship.
No, because really cool. Like, there's a bond amongst USC people. And it was because pandemic,
I think that's
whatever.
Same kids with Michigan and Harvard.
Of course. No, but I'm saying I haven't experienced that bond because lockdowns. We were, didn't see anything for 3-4 years. And this weekend I was like, everyone's like, we got our ass kicked. People are fucking pissed. On their car ride home. Like, no one has any like real actual like stakes. And we were all like, what the fuck just happened? Like, there was a passion about it. And we're like, how do we fix it? Like, not me, but they were like the actual pros. Were like, we need to change something. And there was this passion, which I don't know if it exists with other schools.
I think it does. I think it does.
I think it definitely does.
Maybe a handful.
Like 10 schools.
But I think that because you guys are part of it at USC, you feel it. So I'm sure at every school it feels like no one else has what you have. But I think that's what is a shame to me about all of this stuff with I think one of the biggest terrible reactions of, like, you can talk about like the people protesting in London and the people, but I think the way that like what happened at Harvard and what happened at those colleges is so horrendous. And the way that the schools aren't like checking it, and they're kind of like loosely supporting it in a way. Like, I just think, I don't know, seeing what you guys have from your school, like, your only goal should be to like make connections and bring people together. And,
that's
like,
it. You're talking about as an institution. Your only goal should, to bring people together, not create a debate on campus. Like, I don't think that should be the
what's
intention.
also like interesting is obviously the tensions are high. We were on this 48-hour trip and we didn't talk politics. Everyone just bonded. It was actually really cool.
That's like, the power of sports.
We bonded through this university that we all went through. And we were like, hey, we want to win. We didn't win. We lost, and everyone talked a lot of shit. Like, whatever. It was actually refreshing to be like kind of removed. For a moment. For a moment.
I get it.
Yeah, but I think the larger point is that if you look at what has been inherently kind of dying away in America, and you see how badly people need it, it is community. Look what's happened in the last week. The communities have bonded on one side or the other. And unfortunately, in this case, in an unhealthy way. And so
also hateful.
It's it's so like that's something that a friend of ours who listened to the podcast, and full transparency, most of my closest friends are Jewish or Israeli. Like I would say 80%. That's who my social circle has always been. But I do have a lot of Muslim friends, and I do have a lot of friends from different backgrounds. But like some of my closest are actually Israeli. And I've been talking to a lot of them over the last week. They're really hurt. not because they're not looking for you to give them sympathy to be pro-Israeli.
Yeah.
They are very nervous about the anti-Semitism.
Yeah. I am too. I mean, I'll be honest, like when people reacted the way that they did to Kanye, I was like, okay, I understand it because of all the years of like anti-Semitism and whatever. But look, I'm just being honest. I kind of felt like, okay, yeah, but like no one's going to like come out and kill a bunch of Jews. You know, like that's not going to happen. Yeah. And then here we are with a literal terrorist organization whose mandate is to kill Jewish people, and people are supporting them openly. And I'm talking about like teachers and Harvard kids and Black Lives Matter and openly supporting.
And I've had this conversation with some of my best friends from growing up, Eric Weiss, who obviously you guys know really well.
Yep.
And I've obviously known him since we're 5 years old. And I when we were in Sweden and I saw the Nazi parade. Yeah. That you guys actually witnessed, but you guys told us.
Yep.
And I was like, why do people hate Jews so much?
Yeah.
I literally don't get it. Like, why in Sweden do you give a shit about Jewish people?
Yeah.
Like, there's no impact of Jewish people in Sweden. Yeah. That the fact that you're going to do a parade.
But the hatred has been groomed into these people.
And I know, and this is what I struggle because, like, obviously we grew up literally with Jewish people.
Yeah.
Our entire childhood.
Yeah.
It was Jewish people and Koreans.
Yeah.
That was my entire childhood.
Yeah.
And I grew up with the culture and it's great. And I just don't get what the hatred comes from. I don't get it.
Did you get an answer or no?
No one's actually explained it to me.
Well, and I think that's what scares all of our Jewish friends so much.
Yeah.
Is because they like, the thing is what's happened in that area of the world has been happening for thousands of years.
Yep.
And you are welcome to support whatever belief you have in that fight.
Yeah.
100%. But like to openly support Hamas, a terrorist organization that killed innocent people, that is where like you have to start thinking like, what are you actually supporting?
I mean, if I'm Palestine and if I'm not mistaken, Iran, both openly said we don't support.
Yes, the leader of PLO says we have nothing to do with this organization.
But the Harvard kids do.
Exactly. And so
Black Lives Matter does.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so they
wild.
don't even understand what they are supporting. And I think that is what scares people.
But I still struggle why everyone hates Jewish people.
But no, I know. I don't know.
But we have to get, that's not the point now. The bigger point now is because we don't have the answer to that question. We have to, here's the thing. From a Jewish person's perspective, and this is how they feel. When Black Lives Matter needed support, we marched, we posted, we donated. When the Ukrainians needed support, we posted, we donated, we marched. Where are you guys with us now? Yeah, that is how they feel. Yeah. And they're not asking you to go and support Israel. They're not asking you for that.
Yeah, I think they just want stop the anti-Semitism.
Yes, because literally in Century City today, there was a pro-Israeli rally. Palestinian marchers came. Their message is not like, we want a two-state solution. Yeah. Their message is, we want to eradicate the Jews.
Yeah.
That is a very different message. So it's like, if that is what you support, then shit, you better be ready for it.
Yeah.
What's about to happen?
Yeah. There's a huge nuance miss here of like, it's not even that nuance. And it's the reason why Palestine and Iran would say, we don't support Hamas, because it's just different. It's like, I understand that there's a whole argument, and I'm not even going to get into it because I don't know it, of the sort of oppression of Palestinian people in Gaza. And I get that.
And even the Israeli friends I have say, we understand that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We're not here to fight you on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the difference here is why you don't have to. I think people love to just say, oh, I'm riding for the victim. And I heard a story that people are being persecuted in Gaza, and so victim. Whereas Hamas's publicly stated mission is to kill all Jewish people.
And then death to America. That's an added bonus.
And we're marching. There's like this weird like LGBTQ. One of the things I saw online that was like so ironic is like LGBTQ, some of them, not all of these groups, but have taken up like supporting Palestine. They would be so excited to
murk you,
torture and murder all of those
By
people.
The way,
it's so weird. We live in such a weird time.
Even you want to keep it real, like Black Lives Matter shows up to Palestine.
Yeah.
We know how that part of the world views certain communities.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about Istanbul. My 2 black friends couldn't get served a beer.
Yeah. It makes it so crazy.
If you went to those regions and go to a restaurant, you'll know where you stand with them.
That's my point. Like I said, you can anyone can go ahead and debate the nuance of the region and what's going on. That's a different story. You're supporting a group
that wants to eradicate
that has a
group
mission
of people.
How much of it is just
kill an
like
entire race of people, and you're like, yeah, fucking paraglider on my Instagram. What are you doing? We've lost it.
We've lost it, and I feel like do young people, especially at these universities, right? Like, because that's where a lot of it's coming from.
Yeah,
they just feel like they need a cause to.
No, it's honestly because we as a society kept. And this is like part of woke culture. We just kept saying everyone gets a voice. Everyone gets to do whatever they want. Everyone can act however they want. And so what happens with that is that type of stuff happens. There has to be some sort of common sense used in the way you operate. You can't just fucking blindly do things all the time.
Wait,
I think it's victim mentality.
What are you saying though?
No, but like everyone's a victim. If you want to push it, you're a victim. I'm a victim. Drama's a victim.
I think when you celebrate like being a victim for
woke.
too long, it has to go somewhere weird. Like it's been too blindly supporting victims. But
who's the victim in this case? Like, if you objectively look at what happened,
the narrative is that Israel is oppressing people in Gaza. And so therefore, by speaking with violence, that's sometimes the only way. Like, that's the like BLM reason for supporting it is, we should do the same here. We're oppressed too. Like, it's a scary, scary thought. And I think in these colleges, keep in mind, it's fucking Harvard.
Yeah.
Like, you're the most privileged kids that the most privileged country has to offer. And you're so, like, you're getting bloodthirsty on victimhood.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's so scary and wild.
This is why, when conservatives were talking about cancel culture and wokeism and things of like that, you don't see how dangerous that stuff is till it affects you.
Yeah.
Right? You just don't.
But I think that's what people realize, right? Like, this is why Bill Ackman went so hard.
Yeah.
He was so
anti-cancel
culture.
Yeah.
He was anti-cancel culture. He was he's like, oh yeah, free thought, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And now he's like, fuck that.
Yeah. I heard like there was a Bill Maher thing or someone, like, I think a lot of people that were like, pretty liberal are like, wait a minute.
Well, Bill Maher has been, I would say he's more moderate.
Just not to support anyone in these colleges that have done any of these things, right? Like, I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah.
I do think when you're in your 19, 20, 21, and you're at these institutions, it's a time to explore ideas and thought, and you could be wrong.
Yeah.
My point is, like, people, when they're in their formative years, explore all these different ideas.
Yep.
And they're wrong.
Yeah.
Obviously, humanitarian, ethically, all of this stuff.
Yep.
And where I struggle is where you have these like super talented business people telling them they have to be banned from the workforce and they can't repent for their,
I think that's also an emotional reaction. I don't
think about it. Like, all the free speech guys loved free speech until it was this.
I know, but I will say, I think that I think we've messed up what free speech means in this country. Like, I think that there's free speech, which is you can say whatever you want and there are consequences. And I think that there is censorship, which is you cannot say it. We'll stop you before you even can say it.
Free speech exists if you don't incite violence. So if you incite violence, that's not free speech. That's not protected by the Constitution.
But people saying we support Hamas and then Bill Ackman saying, give me a list because I don't ever want to hire those people. To me, it's like, fair. That's fair game.
Yeah.
You don't, if they said we are if there was a group bubbling up in, wherever town that said we hate the LGBTQ community and people said, okay, give us a list of those people. We want to make sure we never hire them. I'd be like, yeah, totally. Makes total sense. And this feels similar to me. I think there's going to be maybe 2 people in the whole world that actually ever check that list to see if they hired someone. It's going to blow over. Everyone's very emotional right now. But I just think like the thing that blows my mind is, let's just say Palestine had we said this before, but taken military action against Israel. And people died, but military people. And people wanted to say, you know what? I support them. They've been oppressed and they took action. They attacked. That even to me is like, okay, you have the freedom to support them. That makes sense. This is a terrorist group that wants to fucking kill all Jews. I just think that if you're a Jewish person or you have Jewish, anything, it doesn't even matter if you're Jewish, and you're like, okay, I want to make sure one of those people is never in my company and I don't know. That's fair.
Yeah.
It's just, I think that we have now people are saying like, oh, but I thought you liked free speech. No, go ahead and say it. I'm actually, the whole point of free speech is we should be glad that those people said it.
Because
now we know. You know, because I think when I saw the BLM Chicago thing, and maybe this isn't all of BLM, so I want to be careful, but it made me feel like, oh, well, that's crazy, but I'm glad I know that.
Yeah.
You know, like you kind of know where at least the Chicago chapter stands.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, I wouldn't be donating to the Chicago.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Here's what my larger point is. It's nothing to do about politics, religion, any of Hamas, Israel, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
When you're 19, 20, you say things that you probably don't want to be on record on.
Yep.
And you may be in colleges, you may be in organizations, you might do these things.
Yep.
And because 20 years ago when we were in college, there was no record of anything any of us thought, anything we said, nothing was recorded.
But also you didn't put out formal statements.
Yeah.
It's not their Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like people are auditing
they put effort into writing it.
You know what I mean?
That's the new world, right? That's 20 years later. Like 20 years ago, we would just be sitting in the dorm room and like spitballing.
But look, if
like,
you were
do you believe this? Do you believe that?
If you were a part of a, like, if An and I, you know, I guess when we first met, I found out that you were a part of a, you know,
Antifa
hate group. No, Antifa's nothing compared to this.
Yeah.
This racial murder support.
Yeah.
I would like to know that.
So I'll tell you a story. College, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
I was at King Taco, right by the old office on
Love
Central.
King Taco. Yeah. Good memories.
Late at night, we were with a group of people, and 4 USC kids were telling me that 9/11 didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
But that's very different. You still see the difference. You understand that is a very different statement than like
it's different than putting out a formal statement.
Formal statement supporting a terrorist organization.
Yeah, because it's easier to do now because you could just get on a blog and do that.
But all you're saying is those kids are just saying, I don't believe that it happened. They're not supporting the people that killed other people.
There's a different context.
But the people that I was with at this King Taco thought we were the ones at fault.
America.
And they were telling me at King Taco while we're all drunk and eating tacos, like, you guys were the ones at fault, not us. They were Muslim guys. So that happened on a college, you know, it's not a college campus, but technically college.
Yeah.
Right? They're USC kids.
Yeah.
And they said that, and I'm sure they're all very successful and they've done well. And but now these kids did stupid shit.
But there's so many differences.
Very different.
Just because I think that number one,
because they also thought we're Americans are the terrible people. They told me in King Taco, like, you guys are the criminals. Sure. You guys are the ones. You guys are the ones that
they got drunk and at King Taco said something.
Here's
they
the
didn't go out to their club and say,
but isn't that the difference? Because they can do that now.
But the statement you could have done 20 years ago.
Yeah, you're giving too much ease. It's not an Instagram post.
No.
It is, we're getting together, we're going to write this, and we're going to publish it. And just like think of all the things, even let's just say financial advice. Think of the financial advice or tips that you would give to someone at King Taco at midnight that you wouldn't put out in a formal statement and put your name behind. It's a different posture. The other thing is the closer comparison would be not that those kids were just sort of like tinfoil hat, Muslim, probably that might have been a message that was going through that community and they're like, yeah, we buy into this. Think of if instead at King Taco they sat with you and they said, you know what? we really support the Taliban as a whole.
And we're putting a statement.
We love them. You'd be way more freaked out at that King Taco.
Yeah.
That's what these people are doing.
Have you heard the good work they're doing?
These kids at Harvard aren't saying, we think it was a false flag. We think that it was an excuse for Israel to attack Palestine. It's not that. It's we support bloodthirsty fucking terrorists that want to eradicate a race.
Right. No, I agree. I just think it's just...
there should be a little lenience. And let me tell you this. They will get lenience.
I don't think anyone... I'm not... You know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to like justify
you're trying
anything.
to give them a little bit of
look, and I think they will I think ultimately all of those kids will get a pass, but they needed to get fucking punched in the fucking mouth.
That's fine. They should get punched in the face.
And they should be scared to death. This is the thing. You know how this shit works. Nobody's keeping that fucking list.
Yeah.
They're just not. Maybe Bill Ackman will.
Yeah.
And they're never going to get a job at fucking Pershing Square or whatever.
Yeah.
But everyone else is going to forget. But right now they deserve to be scared
so the
shitless.
Equivalent of you guys talking about the people that signed on to the list. Support the list, whatever.
Yeah.
Me and my friends to this day, 20 years later, talk about that King Taco Day. We're like, we cannot believe these people said this shit.
But you can go on Twitter today and millions of people still believe that story.
I know, but we were told in real life.
Yeah.
Like
But I agree. So crazy. But once again, imagine how much you would remember it now and how much you would have been freaked out at school the next day if those kids told you that they support the Taliban. And then imagine if they would have actually written a statement and put it out that they support the Taliban.
So all these kids
that's how fucking crazy.
have an easy out. Every one of those kids has the easiest out. Go on their social media, their personal social media, and said, I am part of the Nepalese student organization that posted this, that signed onto this. I do not believe this.
Yeah.
I am just a student at Harvard. I did not understand that. I rescind it. Your name off the list tomorrow. Like this.
There's no
Snap of
list.
the finger.
The only list is it.
But I'm just
Bill
saying.
Ackman. I know. I just
put. You want the record on record.
I agree.
If you want to be absolved of any potential future issues,
I agree.
Just say it.
But let me tell you, I think that today, that would be the same as if you guys at USC said, you know what, I no longer support the football team. I think that's their social circle.
Yeah.
And they're more scared of getting banned today by their social circle than their future job at a hedge fund.
No, look, I think
which is crazy.
Yeah, I think in general, and it goes back to like why I believe all of these groups form, and they're all looking for belongingness and community, which I appreciate. I think everyone does need that. The problem is
made cults.
Yes, and the problem is that like we've created like a reason not to assimilate.
Yeah, go watch football.
Yes.
Like everyone did for fucking years.
Yes.
Go support your team.
Let's go.
What do they do? They row at Harvard? Go do that.
Whatever you do, go get drunk, go have fun, go do whatever. Like you need to go live.
Yeah.
Like the problem is if you sit on the internet and then you go to this like weird club on Tuesday at 8 p.m. in the snow in Boston, let me tell you, you're gonna be angry.
Yeah.
Because you're in Boston and it's 8 p.m. and it's freezing cold. Like
for the record, the weather's still nice in Boston, so that's not an excuse.
Okay.
I mean, I will say just our experience in Indiana for the short time we were, like, a lot of those people probably don't align with me politically, but no one said anything to me.
Well, we did call you woke.
On the field?
That was on the plane. So the minorities on the plane called me woke.
Yes.
But not the white people in South Bend, Indiana.
We keep saying it's a class thing. It's not a race thing. It's a class thing disguised as a race thing. And when you're on the plane, they don't like wokies on the plane.
Nah,
but
no one
we're
does.
walking through Notre Dame Stadium, and everyone was totally normal.
Yeah, because day-to-day people don't give a shit.
We're
They
like
don't
the
care.
only brown guys in literally the entire stadium.
Yeah, day-to-day
No, I
people.
saw 2 Indian kids from USC.
Did you?
Yeah.
The 2 Indian guys, I saw them. Like,
Yeah,
walking.
I saw them everywhere.
There's two Indian guys.
But my point is like.
But my point is, no one gave a shit that we were 2 Indian
don't.
guys.
In real life, they don't.
This is all
It's just
made
the
up.
internet and
Yeah,
the
I agree.
fucking- But think about it. If you are, what most kids are doing is they're sitting in their hometowns on the internet. And this is the representation. They never get to that moment of walking through a football stadium or anywhere and seeing that no one cares. And that's why you can sit at Harvard in your little fancy bubble and form literally a hate group at Harvard because you think that it's a war zone right outside your fancy little doors.
What's funny is it was in Daily Mail. Do you know what Joe Malone is?
No.
It's a
Is that Post brother?
No. Joe Malone's like a mega beauty brand owned by Estee Lauder, $1 billion business.
Yep.
Sold years ago. Family's very wealthy. The mom, the Joe Malone and her husband put out a statement saying blah, blah, supporting Israel and like the sadness of what happened and whatever. Their son runs the Palestinian organization at Harvard. Just like ultimate privilege. Like marching on the campus. It's like you're not even part of the cause.
God
you don't even know what you're doing, dude.
And these are the kids that are like, the thing that scares, like legitimately scares me is I think that it was kind of funny before, like, oh, everyone's, a victim and we're going to argue over who's the bigger victim. Are you a female and this race and from this background? Oh, you're the most oppressed and you're the blah, blah, blah. That was always like the thing. I think that it has gotten to a scary level when these people are starting to blindly support brutal murder of civilians based on.
Yeah, and look. So to the point that what we just experienced in Indiana, which was amazing, and no one, no one gave a shit about. No one gave a shit about anything, a race. No one cared.
Yeah.
So, are the same people that are like signing the petition acting normal in real life?
Well, I think it's kind of like video games. Like when you play a video game, you might be like, yeah, fuck you, bitch, and I'll fucking blah, blah, blah. And then in real life, you would never say that. It's like, is that which one's the real you?
Yeah.
I think these people get into this like cosplaying, we're going to fucking change the world, but like are too scared to order food at the restaurant. Like, and which one's the real them? I don't know. They're an awkward fucking kid.
Yeah.
That's my not so good answer. Is like, I don't think that's the real them either. I think they're being indoctrinated.
I think the same people that signed the Harvard petition are like going and having, drinks with their Israeli friend.
Yeah, probably. And they don't even realize they're Israeli, probably.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I thought you were white.
I thought you were from Beverly Hills.
I thought you were Beverly Hillsian. Yeah. So stupid. But it's just like, where are we at when you're not supporting? You used to go to the football field and say, kill them.
Yeah.
Get them. Now you're literally cheering on. You can't get past, no matter where you stand on Palestine, Israel. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that these people have a mandate to just kill Jewish. They're extreme extremists.
No, of course.
And it's crazy.
Yeah. And I think like at the end of the day, if you're one of those people that are vocally supporting causes, then you have to be vocally supporting about anti-Semitism, anti-Muslim belief, all of those things.
Yeah.
You can't stay silent when it's not convenient to what.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot because it's such a long-standing, hard situation for people to understand.
Yeah, and I think there is a way to say you condemn the horrific acts of Hamas against innocent Israeli civilians.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I do have empathy and sympathy for the people of Palestine, and I want what's best for them as well.
Yeah.
You can literally say that, and a Jewish person will feel a very different way about the situation.
Also, you can say, no matter what anyone has done to anyone, any government has done to any other government, you can't go slaughter and torture and maim innocent fucking people and children. That's like literally internationally recognized as illegal. It's not like, that's not fair game anywhere.
Yeah, street code.
But it's street code. But at Harvard, it's fair game.
Yeah. No,
that's crazy. What are we doing to these kids?
Yeah. Well, no, it's happening because, to your point, everyone is looking for a reason to say why they aren't where they are.
Yeah.
The irony is the last fucking people who should say that are kids from Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and Stanford. If you go to those schools, shut the fuck up.
Literally.
You know
just
what?
in general.
They
should shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yes. If you go to those schools, they should ban free speech in those schools.
They should ban speech.
Speech.
You should have just be a silent meditation retreat until you're in the class.
You are the creme de la creme of privilege. Your life is set. Shut the fuck up.
What are you doing, man? It's just, I think it's also...
So, let's play it out. So what do you think the universities are going to do? Because they haven't done shit.
Nothing.
Oh, they will do. It will happen. When money dries up, things will change.
Yeah, you're right. Because
100%.
this might actually affect money for real.
See, the thing is like a school, like
Because Harvard hasn't done shit. Stanford hasn't done anything.
yeah. Watch, the money will dry up. Especially those schools are so intertwined with very successful Jewish people. I mean, go to those schools. Look at the buildings.
Yeah, of course.
Think about the failure, though. I think we have to mention this. Like the failure of the adults at these schools.
Yeah.
I mean, these schools, not your book smarts. These schools should be, in theory, especially for what they cost, be pumping out the best we've got.
Yeah.
On everything. They should be able to debate. They should have the best views. I mean, a lot of people that enter government come from these schools.
Yeah.
And this is what we're pumping out. Unless I'm factually wrong here, I think you guys said I was right, is Iran and Palestine both disavowed Hamas.
Yeah.
And that's not exactly, they didn't make that clarity in their statement. And so you can still, the university can still get what it wants. It's still, you can still take money from there, and you're on the same page as them to say.
So what's their line of thinking then? Let's walk through
They
it.
actually believe it.
What, the schools or the kids?
Yeah, the schools.
They're
not the kids.
psychos.
The line of thinking for the schools are simply, how do we fucking keep this money train rolling?
Right.
That's it. And they think that telling rich kids to shut the fuck up and get out of their safe spaces and go out into the world is going to get their parents to pull them out of the schools, and they're going to be in trouble and they're going to get canceled. That's why I think it was able to get this far. But now I would say the pickle is more so that, like, what do? You've been too soft for too long. You've let these kids run fucking wild. Now they're forming hate groups inside of your school. What do you do now? Because now you're getting pressure from your donors, your board members, your everything. So now the money pressure came. What do you do now? Do you toughen up on the kids? Do you say that was unacceptable and there's some repercussions? Do you still tiptoe and let the kid, like, we've let these fucking, we've literally let 19-year-olds run this country for the last fucking 8 years, in my opinion.
We've let them run it from a social media perspective.
But I'm just saying, Dave, we're talking about
public narrative.
We're talking about climate change, and you're the go-to voice is Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, a 12-year-old.
We talk about fucking canceling, and the go-to voice is fucking a student group in Harvard. It's fucking what everyone's worried about. Every company is making changes based on what their interns are saying on Slack. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
We are crazy.
Yeah.
And this is what you get.
Yeah.
A fucking shit show.
So Nabil, who came on the pod, I listened to that podcast, the Eric Prince.
Yeah, was it good? Was it crazy?
Fucking.
I gotta listen.
There's $1 trillion of lithium that has been not mined in Afghanistan, and America just let it go. And lithium is literally like
That's your boy.
climate change. $1 trillion. And all the batteries, Tesla, it's all lithium, right?
Yeah.
Like all EVs,
iPhones,
lithium.
right? Is it iPhone?
But
Yeah, everything's lithium.
But what do you
and-
mean they let it go? Like it's unmined, or
It's unmined still, and then now it's not taken away from terrorists. Like terrorists control those
yeah, and
regions.
they're not going to mine it.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
or we'll buy it from them and fund their fucking thing,
Yeah, fund their little group.
fund their little party over
And
there.
Eric
fucking
Prince,
Harvard.
who's someone I absolutely disagree with, like 99% of his politics.
Yeah.
But he was like, and he made a great point. He was like, what if we just took 10,000 Afghanis and had them mine the lithium that we would have owned? There's no Al Qaeda.
Because they would all making money.
They're all making money.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because I thought about this the other day and I don't know the answer. I think I know the answer. It's an opinion based. So the more and more we talk about government and spending and wars, it is shockingly incompetent.
Yeah.
Why is America the world's superpower?
We have more guns than everyone.
But where you got to have, is it, like my
We're the
answer is
reserve
business.
currency.
So my answer, okay, so this is what I'm trying to like wrap my head around. My answer went to like business and innovation. And obviously even this book that Nabil left for me, I think a lot of it is like way bigger than that, just geography and things like that. But let's say we take that out. It looks like we are just, like you couldn't make bigger mistakes if you tried with what the government does. And even now, a lot of people are talking about like over-regulation and we're actually stifling innovation and we're making it nearly impossible to innovate, and people are still innovating better than anywhere else in the world. But like, why did we become a superpower if we're so...
I mean, I have a few opinions. just to like, we allowed immigration. So the U.S. is actually the most diverse country in the world, right? So you have, Indians, Asians, Hispanics, everyone, like every group.
Yep.
And we actually allowed people to just live, innovate, and build things.
And the government didn't, own the businesses.
They didn't own the businesses, right? And in the third world countries, they own everything. They don't allow that. Like if you go to, even if you go to like,
entrepreneurs though,
even
is
if
what
you go
that
to
goes to.
democracies in Asia, in Japan, there's no one other than Japanese people.
So
there's no one other than Korean people in South Korea.
So isn't the short answer to that entrepreneurship?
So
immigration, I think immigration was the biggest thing.
Well, no, I think first and foremost, and Nabil said it on the pod, geographically, where we are located, we do not have the daily pressures of other countries.
So luck.
So that's luck.
That's like Saudi being on oil.
Shout out to Christopher Columbus for that one.
Thanks, Chris.
He's a moron.
Great name.
But
you love Columbus.
No, I shit on Columbus way before everyone else did.
You were a big Columbus guy.
Indigenous Peoples Day or whatever.
Weren't you part of a Christopher Columbus group at USC?
Yeah, can we? What petition did you sign?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I was so lazy. I didn't sign anything. I didn't even fucking go to class.
It. Yeah.
Let me tell you one thing I didn't do at USC is go to class.
Yeah, or sign anything.
Yes.
Okay, so let's take that out of it.
Yeah.
Luck.
So I think geographic location, but that's big.
I agree.
When you don't have to worry about daily neighbors.
I agree. But that's not oil.
No.
Not Saudi Arabia.
Okay, but the mere fact that you can never get attacked.
Agreed.
And it's massive spread of land, two biggest oceans.
Yep.
So geographically, you're very protected.
I agree.
Second, I think immigration's a big piece. Third, I think after like World War I, World War II, we realized that as much as we hate the military-industrial complex, the fear of everyone is America sent a fucking boat near the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah.
It was global headline news. A fucking boat.
The big ass boat.
It didn't even do anything. It's just a boat though.
Yeah.
It just literally American.
I think immigration's the biggest piece.
No,
military obviously is
think about it like this. No, but you have to understand the importance of military. Name another country in the world that has military bases in every other country.
But why? Can I ask you a question? Why does no other country have the military we have, or even close? Isn't it because of economic success?
Yes.
And didn't early?
No,
it wasn't
but I also think Americans realized early, post World War I, post World War II, that having a military presence, like when you look at like,
so you think strategically that was a smart move?
It's what China's trying to do right now.
Yeah.
Is realize like why. I mean, they're studying America in China. Why is America ultimately successful? A humongous part of it is the military. We have bases in every corner of the earth.
I agree, but it's also the diversity of people that we're allowed to.
Okay, well, when you could drop a nuclear bomb and shoot people.
All you need is one. Russia has it. North Korea has it.
Okay,
China
what
has
other
it.
country, explain to me, has military bases on other countries? Nobody.
Yeah.
It's it.
China does.
But I would say
all over Africa.
In Africa, but that's it. But they're playing the game. They understand what made America so powerful. It is the military.
So it sounds to me like, tell me if you guys fuck with this. It seems to me like we attracted talent from all over the world. We made it a place where, we sold this American dream thing. You come here, you can make it. We'll stay out of your way. Because early in if I'm not going to butcher this, the early military industrial complex was American businesses making all the things.
Yeah.
It was like Chrysler making the tanks and, whatever.
Clothes and.
Yeah, the uniforms and the everything. So it's sort of like we let the best come here. We got out of their way. We let them build these massive companies, and then we reinvested that money and that skill set into the military to build a huge military. And that's the trifecta.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So what's interesting is to that point, we talk about immigration, and it obviously has served our family very well because we got to come to this country. I was watching a video of Henry Kissinger from years ago, like decades ago, like 30 years ago or whatever it was. And he said, basically the challenge with immigration is the diversity of thought does create internal conflict.
Yeah, but it's not the diverse people that are having the crazy fucking thoughts in this country.
Yeah,
it's all the little white kids at Harvard.
Yeah, it's literally like if you would think who's pro Hamas, it's probably mostly white kids.
Well, who's pro all this fucked up shit? Whenever it goes too far, it's little fucking rich white kids.
Yeah, so you're probably right.
I hear you though.
But I think it's because I think the challenge is like the beauty of America is that we do let everyone in with, give us you're hungry, you're tired, you're weak.
Sure.
And with that, there's some consequences. Like, and I think Americans generally are comfortable with that. Like, we are comfortable with, there's so much good that comes from it that when there are bad things that happen, we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
The problem is that we're at a very scary time. And one of our articles today was about China's, it's like Business Insider posted, China's global dominance is over. And what's interesting is they have basically given up on economic freedom. They do not think money is what's going to build their business as a country, or even...
I started to think Zohan was right.
After reading this article,
maybe not 10 years, but damn, when you talk about population decline and all this shit, like
and like China's basically given up on a lot of parts of their economy. They've definitely have shifted about like, we need to control our population, worry about global positioning, not economic positioning. That will backfire on them because their people at one point, right now, they don't know what's going on. They don't know anything that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
They're going to wake up one day and they're going to be like, whoa, fuck this. And they will revolt.
I think here's the issue with China. And it's what I said on the last podcast with Nabil. When you're in dictatorships, you as the ruler are basically like, how do I stay in power?
Yeah.
And you're not thinking about like the broader game. You're like, how do I stay in power and not get killed?
Yep.
He was in Congress and or whatever the equivalent of Parliament, Congress, whatever they have in China, and he had the previous ruler escorted out by security. We all saw that on social media. And I don't think he's thinking about it like the long game. And that's why democracies are great, because you have, limited power and you keep bringing in new people. Yeah. This is why the American experiment has succeeded so well, despite what you said. Like, why did it succeed?
Yeah, like why? Yeah, because it seems like we're doing everything wrong.
We did everything wrong, but everyone's doing everything worse.
Worse. Yeah, way worse.
That's the point.
And also, I can't get away from, maybe I'm biased, but just attracting talent and entrepreneurship is so important.
Yeah.
It's all like...
Yeah, because I do think you can innovate your way out of every situation.
I think we always have.
Yeah.
Even like, we were the first with the nuke. We were the first with even these new companies like the one that Zach White's invested in.
Varda?
There was another one.
Andrew?
Yep, Andrew.
Lucky Palmer.
Like there's an opportunity here to become filthy, filthy, filthy rich by innovating
the military.
And that's like, hey, we have that opportunity. And I don't think someone in China feels that opportunity when they wake up in the morning.
No, I agree with that.
And I mean, what we also know is like when I have friends in Dubai, they said it's just Chinese people that are just trying to flee to get their money out.
Isn't there bank runs? Isn't there bank runs in China right now?
Yeah. I mean, there's literally bank runs. There's one of the largest real estate companies going under. Consumer is under heavy pressure.
That's what
inflation is. It's not inflation; it's deflation. There,
it's the first time LVMH was soft because the Chinese consumer isn't there. The economy's done.
I wonder if you're Mike Prince. Mike Prince.
Eric
Mike Prince is Showtime.
Yeah, man. It's stuck in my head.
Sorry, Billions.
Eric Prince.
By the way, side note: that show is garbage.
In general,
what show?
Billions has fallen off.
Oh, recently.
Oh, it still exists?
It's so bad.
The last ones. Not the beginning.
This season is unwatchable piece of television.
Sure. That's fair. I'm not going to fight you on that. Early on,
the first two seasons were unbelievable. Yep. Brody was amazing.
Yep.
He saved the show.
Yep.
Now it's
is he even still on it?
By the way, no, he's not. He's making a comeback.
The main guy?
Yeah, Brody's back. He's plotting.
But is Brody X?
Yeah, he's
X. Yeah, bro. Sorry, I forgot his name.
Okay, well, you go.
But yeah, whatever. That show's trash.
That was just your sidebar. If you say a show's trash, it's bad.
It's like the writers think these writers 100% went to Harvard, and the way they write, they just write these big words. I'm in the rooms with those fucking people all the time. You know what they're talking about? You taking the Phillies tonight?
Yeah.
I was like, no, they're not talking about fucking quoting philosophers.
It's true.
It's like sort of. I mean, I said this on the last pod. Remember?
My last question was, I just wonder, I would die to know what an Eric Prince or anyone who's been president or knows what the world really looks like where we stand. Because I feel like even though shit is absolutely absurd and we're in 2 wars and we're proxy wars,
fine.
I think we are
we're
so
totally
dominant.
Yeah.
I think we're totally fine. I think it's why the U.S. stock market, despite everything you hear, has still maintained.
Yeah.
It's the only investable place. It's the only safe place in the world.
I mean, it's also a function of the companies that people are backing, right? Would you rather put your money in Apple?
Yes.
Or China?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or India?
Your other point. Yeah.
It's just, no, it's
I'd rather put my money wherever China's going to move their production.
Yeah.
I'll invest in that place.
Exactly. And I think internationally it's very tough to invest. And then I think when you look at what's happening globally, it gives you more confidence in America more so than ever.
Nice. Okay, let's go.
We're going to knock this out.
Yep.
So I saw an interesting article about small businesses in America asking people to pay in cash. And they'll give you a 3.5% discount because of the credit card processing fees, which because I'm in retail, like I actually pay attention a lot to credit card processing fees, and I talk to my customers. I'm very curious about it. You know, if you ask most people, if I asked you on the spot what your credit card processing fee is,
you had no clue.
You wouldn't know.
No idea.
Nobody knows. It's a fucking scam.
Yeah.
100% it's a scam.
It's a scam.
And as much as we want to go, like, there was this huge movement happening last year where a lot of these like new wokey coffee shops wouldn't accept cash.
Wokey.
Yeah.
Yeah, wokey. It's always the
wokey
wokies.
coffee shop. I got my square pad. Here's my fucking tip.
Flip it around. You want a tip? I'm going to give you puppy dog eyes.
Yeah.
Because they don't pay me enough here.
Pussy.
I went to Harvard.
Yeah. Guess what? I'm
you're
still
working at a
tipping
coffee
you.
shop.
Yeah.
That's the problem. The Harvard guy is working on the fucking coffee shop.
Yeah.
He's pissed.
Because he fucking was a part of too many groups instead of studying.
He's signing petitions that he didn't know what he's signing for.
Yeah.
Nike and Ackman cancels
dumbass.
his ass.
Blackballed him from the hedge fund industry.
Have fun at the coffee shop, bitch.
But I think this movement to get away from cash, I wouldn't like. I there's a weird world where like people start saying, "Hey, like if you went to I don't know Delilah and they said 3.5-4% discount if you paid in cash."
Yeah.
Honestly, I would pay more because like a small business restaurant.
Yeah.
You can accept cash and not declare it all day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can balance it out.
Sure.
A huge business, Apple can't do it, but like some mom and pop hot restaurant,
Yep.
you pay us in cash, you give 5% discount.
Yep.
If it's like a $500 dinner and you get $25 off,
all day.
you would do that in a second.
But don't you think what you're really looking at is just a ripe area for someone to disrupt and just do it differently?
Here's the thing is,
Like, we're not going to go back to cash.
I think credit card processing fees are a scam.
It's 100% a scam, right?
It should be
it's just a
0%.
grift. Yeah, it should be 0.
It should be 0.
And the credit card company makes the money on interest.
No, it's just
Interchange.
the 3%. So like,
But I'm saying, no, let's just say they got rid of processing fees.
so let's say they got rid of processing fees, and for some reason that true cost was 0. When you swipe a credit card in a business, you're not getting the money the next day. You're getting 2 days.
Yeah.
You still get a day to make some money.
Yeah. Because right now stupid question, is the majority of their revenue processing fees?
Yeah, that's it. And they get a float. They get 2 days.
Have you seen the Visa business breakdowns? It's a monopoly. It's
No,
a
I gotta
joke.
listen.
Yeah,
I don't really
it
understand
shouldn't
it, to be
exist.
honest.
That's
why Visa's like one of the greatest companies of all time.
And it's a made up fee. Is there a cog?
Cog suckers.
There's a bunch of cog suckers. Is there a cog other than a
software,
fuck ton
right?
of them?
So it's like once you get the customer, it's 100% margin.
Oh, whatever. They sponsor the Super Bowl. That's their cog.
That's what I'm saying, right? I mean, there's no processing fee. There's no processing.
I mean, it's
cost on the
negligible.
back end.
It's negligible.
Yeah.
It's just getting the client.
That's why
The cog is getting the client.
That's why everyone thought Stripe was going to win, blah, blah, blah. But whatever. Visa won.
But can't someone just do a different business model?
Like credit card processing fees would be a great nationalized business.
Yeah. 100%.
It should be cash.
But why don't you just make
credit card should be cash.
Yeah.
The same way we pay cash. There's no fee when I pay $10.
What's the barrier to entry for just making a credit card with no processing?
There's that little machine. That's the barrier.
Yeah, but
right? So why isn't someone doing this?
There's a cost. There is some cost associated.
But it's negligible.
I don't know all the hard costs of money transfers and hardware. And
I mean, this is why.
But the other point is, if there is a hard cost, like hardware, sure, but money transfer cost, I believe, then someone else is scamming.
Because
somewhere it's a scam.
By the way, we don't get the money instantly either. When we swipe a card at a restaurant, the restaurant hates it.
Yeah.
They're not getting it for 2 days.
Yeah.
If you swipe on Friday, you got a big Friday. Do you know when you're getting the money? Monday, because it's a fucking weekend. There's dumbass laws where you can't deposit money on Saturday.
That's why I think all these, I'm not going to name them by names, but I think all these like credit card companies that are Silicon Valley backed, terrible businesses.
You're talking about Brex, Ramp, Stripe.
I just said I don't want to name them by names.
You didn't say it.
You didn't say it. I said it.
Yeah.
I thought those businesses were a joke from the day I heard Stripe was like, they were like, oh, Stripe, these kids, fucking Irish kids from blah. I was like, their credit card processing fee. These are the scammers I've been suing since I started my business. I've been suing credit card processing fees before those fucking kids from Stripe were fucking playing cricket in Ireland. Motherfuckers.
It's just like, I can't believe that
clowns.
In a world
fucking
of
clowns.
So much.
I hate those kids.
Can we clip just
for
that?
Dee's own purposes?
Can we clip just that?
No, that's
TikTok?
incredible content.
That's great content.
If you want to clip it, I don't care. It's
don't have to clip it.
I'm kidding.
You got to leave it on the pod.
I think it's great. It just blows my mind that in a world of so much innovation, and we're talking about AI and ChatGPT and blah, 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 like people are talking about fucking going back to cash.
Yes.
Like fix the goddamn problem.
Yeah, that's the problem is that like everyone knows it's a moneymaker.
I thought I was supposed to have a chip in my hand by now that I fucking scan and everything's.
I have one topic first because this is going to get millions of TikTok views.
Okay.
Can I do mine first?
No. McDonald's posted a video on YouTube.
Okay.
It's insane. McDonald's said that 1 in 8 Americans have worked at McDonald's. So what's interesting about McDonald's, when you think about it from that perspective, so many people have started their career at McDonald's.
Think about like how McDonald's could be like impacting. They could be doing better work than Harvard, and Stanford, all of them.
If I was McDonald's, I would be creating like an alumni directory.
Yes.
Here's the best business idea at McDonald's. Because I know someone at McDonald's listens to this podcast.
Yeah.
Create an alumni directory. Show us the path from McDonald's worker to CEO of fucking Bank of America or whatever it is.
Yeah. There's some real content
actually,
here.
CEO of Visa, because we know that's not hard. You do nothing. You just charge 3.5%.
You just rake up 3% plus 3% plus 3%.
But I think there's something to be said about that first job that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
Fast food is a big one. Retail is a big one.
But think about, I know it's incredibly hard. I'm not blaming them, but like think about the opportunity you have. If you're touching that much of the workforce, like you could make stories around it and content and like look at how we, from work. I mean, there are certain places where when people work, even like fast food places and stuff like that when people work there, they gain a new understanding of responsibility or the values. Or
if I was them, I would create a TikTok moment.
Yeah.
Where everyone talks about what they do now
Yeah.
When they started at McDonald's and what they do now.
Yeah.
Like, it could be I own 3 franchises to like I'm the CEO of Visa.
Yeah.
It's such an incredible moment.
There's probably like NBA athletes. There's probably
billionaires that worked at McDonald's.
Yeah, they need to do that.
It's such an incredible, and everyone starts somewhere, which I think is pretty cool.
I mean, I wonder like what Americans have like been in the armed forces.
Way more than McDonald's has way more than armed forces.
What else? Like what else?
Yeah,
who else touches that many?
Yeah, 1 in 8 people.
That's insane. Wow. That's who's really developing this country.
Yeah.
It's not these
McDonald's.
colleges. It's fucking McDonald's. Whatever they're learning there.
1 in 3 people who worked at the 1 in 8 in McDonald's jerked off in your fries.
Colleges are dictating what's happening on social media.
Yeah.
And the actual people working are the McDonald's.
They should have a social media just for people who worked at McDonald's. I want to join that.
Yeah.
I want to see what they're up to.
53 million people.
Because they're probably much more like humble. They appreciate hard work. They've been in the service industry. They know how it is to serve.
Yeah.
Yeah, McDonald's employee statement.
I mean, what else has 1 in 8 people done in this country?
Jerked off.
Probably not even that. Especially nowadays. Those numbers are probably plummeting.
Well, I could never. I could never because it would ruin.
It would desecrate the
climate change.
Yeah, climate change. That's what it is.
Because I have to wash my pants.
Yeah, then I'd have to do my laundry. What was your thing on it?
Logan Paul, Dillon.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me.
It was
I didn't get to see any of it.
Did you watch anything?
No, nothing. I saw the pre-fight on Friday.
Look, the honest take is it was just horrendous. The whole thing was terrible. Both fights, Logan's fight was just objectively terrible. And
why?
Dillon Danis, I mean, look, I think if you know anything about fighting or that world, this isn't really a shocker because I'm actually just surprised Dillon Danis stayed up, didn't get knocked out or knocked down. But he just pretty much sat there and let Logan punch him with his hands up. And he hit him a couple times. Logan hit Dillon a couple times. Dillon tried to do some like trolling viral moments of laying down or acting like he was going to fucking MMA fight him. Logan didn't capitalize. Like even Jake, if Jake was in that same fight, Jake probably would have knocked out Dillon. Logan couldn't capitalize on him not doing anything. So to your average viewer, it just looked like nothing. And then even the KSI Tommy Fury fight was just terrible. It was just KSI grabbing Tommy Fury over and over and over again, every 2 seconds, having to get separated. It was bad. I would like to go on record and say I think that we are also witnessing the downward trend of like circus fighting.
Oh, wow.
I think that there's people who genuinely like have paid, that fight was $50 or something.
I think it was more.
So maybe 60, maybe 70, but like if you've paid for these things now, you're not going to keep doing it. It's just so underwhelming and stupid. The whole thing was stupid. I think at the end of the day, here's my all in all wrap up is number 1, time for influencer boxing to kind of take a rest. Number 2, Logan Paul, no matter how much money he made on that fight, it was not worth the reputational. Because even at the end of the fight, Nina Agdal came into the ring.
Oh, wow.
And whenever he mentioned her name, the crowd just horrendously booed. To this woman, to your fucking fiance, dude.
Because of Dillon.
Yeah, because of all the trolling he did. Like that, the only thing that stayed. Dillon didn't lose any reputation. No one cared about him anyway. He just made some money. Logan, probably lost some reputation points. But Nina Agdal just got eviscerated and it stuck. Like that's now forever.
Yeah.
She'll be trolled and yelled at and fucking her
comments. She's going to preschool drop off in 3 years.
Literally.
You know what's interesting is like, obviously, I'm like kind of in the social media. Like I try to follow it on TikTok and no one's talking about the fight.
No, it was so bad.
Meaning that no one cares who won or lost. No. So it's just stupid.
Because the people who do know have like sort of communicated how bad it was. Like the general reaction was just like, what the fuck did I just watch? Yeah. That was the reaction. There was no, look, I think Jake Paul with like, especially that one knockout, he created influencer boxing. If he didn't knock out Tyron Woodley that one time flat on his face,
or Nate Robinson, right?
Yeah, so like it was like this ascension. It was like Nate Robinson knocked him out. Oh my God! And then when it really peaked was the Tyron Woodley knockout, because the people who didn't know, they're like, oh, MMA fighter knocked him out. He's asleep on the canvas. If he didn't knock him out in that fight, I think that starts the downward trend of influencer boxing. And I think now it's just like I said before, these poor guys have to pick a perfect opponent. They have to train. They have to go in there and be willing to get their ass kicked. And then really, they have to do something pretty sensational for a fucking YouTuber who's been boxing for 2 years. Like, they have to really get a clip, knock someone out cold, or else it just sucks.
I mean, as a 40-year-old person that is not in the minds of like a late teen, early 20 person, I would think Logan and Jake are lame.
If you would think that if...
as me. If I were them, I'd be like, these kids suck.
No, I love them. As a 43-year-old.
You're saying as a 40-year-old, you think they're lame, or you would if you were a kid?
I would if I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I know the kid in me.
The kid in you thinks they're the GOAT.
I think I just think it's kind of wearing off. It's like, okay, like everyone's sort of getting the hint that all the fighter people were saying a long time ago, like, all right, it's just not the same as watching a fucking UFC fight and two guys murder each other. You want to know who had the best fight of any influencer fighting? Bryce Hall, sort of quietly, I guess just because maybe he's not really popping off right now, fought in a bare knuckle boxing match.
I saw that.
And beat the guy. And like a bare knuckle. Like,
That's
what
crazy.
the fuck are you doing?
That's like a street fight.
Essentially, except for even worse, really, because your hands are taped. So when your wrist is taped, you have so much more support, and
so it hurts more.
So you can punch harder because you're not going to break your wrist. Bryce Hall's a fucking badass. He had the best fight of any influencer boxing fight. No one even talked about it.
Wait, so you as a 43-year-old think Logan and Jake are so cool?
Yeah.
Well, he loves the shit show.
I like the circus too.
Yeah.
I just choose different circus acts.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
But that's you guys in a nutshell. He's more of a, like that, to me, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Who would you say a circus act that you like?
Josh Richards. I think he's crushing it.
Who's Josh Richards?
Makes total sense. The kid on BFFs, the little pretty boy. Yeah.
Dave Portnoy. Yeah.
That's fair.
That's my circus act that I am long on.
I love Jake and Logan.
Too. Yeah.
And I know
I just think it's tough to maintain.
I'll tell you why I love it. I don't forget the content. In my business Ghost, I get pinged several times a week to pay more than wholesale price for fucking Prime, the drink.
Yeah.
More than wholesale.
That makes sense.
The only other brand that I have to do that with daily is Nike.
Is that KSI though?
We got to exit that. Maybe. I don't know. I don't understand it enough to know, because it blows my mind that Logan, everywhere you look on the internet, has like the worst like reputation and comments and whatever. He's a scam artist. He's a blah, blah, blah. And people are just constantly tearing Prime apart, and it sells like crazy.
Crazy. Like, I'll pay $34 a pallet. I'll pay $8, whatever. It's just like, I was like, I do the math and I'm like, whoa, that's above the cost.
Yeah. They got to sell that shit. Which, for the record, we should look into this, because it would be a good topic real quick for group chat, is, I believe you might know, isn't Prime like done by a beverage maker that attached Logan and KSI?
Yeah, it's a CPG. That's how all these things work.
So they've done multiple.
It's a packer, right?
Yeah,
and they've done multiple, and those guys own like 5% or something.
Yeah, the holding company definitely is the majority holder of the business.
Yeah, it's just a fascinating business.
I messaged
structure.
them on LinkedIn. They ghosted me, but whatever, it's okay.
The CPG company?
Because we have that much demand for that brand.
Yeah.
For Prime?
For Prime. It's insane. We don't even do CPG, like beverage, anything.
Yeah.
But the amount of people
Don't
that
you
hit
know
me
who
up,
runs Logan's shit?
What? No, but even the company that does it, I message them, and I get it. Like, they're so hot.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by that business model. To say, hey, we're gonna orchestrate the whole fucking shebang here. Yeah. We're gonna make the drink. We're gonna do the formula. We're gonna send Logan some flavors to test and feel like he's involved. And then they're gonna be the face of it. And they're gonna build that thing is selling. I mean, I don't know what it's worth today, but probably a fuck ton.
It's $1 billion brand.
It's definitely $1 billion.
100%, it's $1 billion brand.
Then you flip that thing to whoever.
And maybe they're group chat listeners, because
It's worth
You
a
never
shot.
know.
Yep.
Sell the fucking business. Sail off into the Mediterranean
Yeah.
with your big yacht.
I think there was another big one they did, like another like fitness drink or energy drink.
They have many beverage brands. This crew.
But I think there was a similar like influencer attachment.
Got it.
You know. I don't know.
Melissa and Doug. If you have children, Melissa and Doug.
I knew. I was like, why don't I know what that is?
You don't know what it is. It's a toy brand. They do puzzles. They do toys. It's a very important brand for our parents.
Okay.
They kind of created like this whole category of like kind of earthy, organic toy biz.
Oh, woke toys.
Woke toys.
Very woke.
Sold for $950 fucking million.
Not woke anymore.
Not at all.
They're up in the skies.
Yeah.
They just got conservative real quick.
They saw their tax rate. So Spinstar Toys bought the business. Spinstar, if you don't know who Spinstar is, important toy manufacturer to know. Spinstar owns Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol is the equivalent of owning any child under 6.
Just owning the child outright.
Yeah. Incredible toy brand, toy business. You'll see it. Now that I told you the brand Spinstar, as parents, go out into the world. You'll go to Target. You go to all the toy stores. You'll see the brand everywhere.
Where do they market?
Melissa and Doug?
Yeah, like why do kids love it? Like how do they get to the kid?
Parents love it. Because it's kind of like earthy. Like,
I see.
Like all the puzzles in our house for our 3-year-old are all Melissa and Doug. They have like...
It's very
garbage
like
trucks.
clean or what, I don't know the word, but
it's clean, yeah. It's not like your traditional plot. It's not Fisher Price.
No.
It's a way better version of Fisher Price.
Yeah, it's like if Honest Company made a Fisher
Price. I think it's great that it's a reasonable valuation, right? So they did $489 million.
Yeah.
So 2x revenue.
Insane.
$489 million.
In revenue.
2x revenue on a growing business. Great.
I mean, high margins.
Great acquisition.
Like, I bet they're pretty fucking profitable.
You just went to a toy conference in New York.
Yeah.
What's the margins?
Huh?
What's the margins in toys?
Great. High. I mean, they're great. I didn't ask around, but they're fucking great. Yeah. Fucking cool.
Melissa and Doug, this is the first time I'm hearing about them.
You have Melissa and Doug in your fucking house.
I'm sure I do. But
I know you do. I've seen it.
But they're declining in revenue. They're declining in profits. Mm-hmm. And this is a good buy.
Yeah. I think it's a great brand.
They're declining.
Are they declining?
Yeah, they're declining. Melissa and Doug declined 17% year over year in revenue, and net income went from $118 million to $34 million.
Whoa!
Net income went to 118 to 34.
Yeah,
that's
Melissa
all.
And Doug.
That's all Doug.
Doug's fucking up.
Yeah, Doug fucking torched.
Definitely Doug's getting distracted.
Yeah. What were you doing, Doug?
Yeah,
having a little good time.
But I mean, you have to make it's good because this is what we always talk about. Like you have to get aggressive.
Yeah.
If you're one of these incumbents.
Yeah. I agree.
You have to.
I love it. Melissa and Doug, great exit.
To clarify for the listener on Melissa and Doug, because we said something a little wrong, it's not because we blame Doug. It's not Melissa and Doug that went from 118 million in profit to 34 million in profit. It's the parent, the acquirer.
Spinstar.
So Melissa and Doug did 420
million.
480 million
in revenue. We don't know the profit.
We don't. Yeah. Melissa and Doug, in my opinion, are Fisher Price. They're the next Fisher Price and Mattel. What they have done.
But are those guys really the stewards to fucking take it there if they just dropped from 118 to 34?
Melissa and Doug are probably like, fuck it.
Yeah,
we're going to the Mediterranean. We got a big boat.
Yeah.
SMD.
You want to know one thing, and I'll end with this, that I love is like, we talk a lot about tech. Everyone's talking about tech, and we're going to talk about tech here in a second. But this is essentially an equivalent price to this big tech exit that everyone's talking about, and no one's giving Melissa and Doug any credit. And
Melissa and Doug is an iconic toy brand.
I just want to say, get out there. You can make some hard goods. You can revolutionize toys, and there's a loom style.
Are you gonna have $1 billion exit?
And now I'm inspired. I gotta go get out here and go to work.
A fucking toy conference.
I gotta get out, Chris and Kareen. Melissa and Doug, we're gonna hang out.
Loom, Chris and Karina.
We're gonna change the parent company.
It's actually Karina, Chris.
Hey, watch it.
Melissa and Doug.
You're right. They did something smart there. Yeah.
Atlassian bought a unicorn, a former unicorn, Loom, for $975 million. It was previously valued, I think, $1.6 billion.
It was a 2021 valuation.
Do you think you're a little annoyed if you didn't exit for a unicorn valuation? Or
1.5.
Especially when you're at 975.
Like, don't you think you're joking at dinner? Like, meh.
If I'm at Atlassian CEO, I'm like, I was gonna give them $1 billion, but fuck them, 975.
I feel like
Yeah, you basically knew that 25 million would give them.
I would have been like, bro, I'll pay you it back.
Yeah,
make it 1.1.
That is not a tech move, but I would do that all day.
Yes.
I'd be like,
you're saying that you should get that extra 25?
Are you joking at your celebratory dinner? If you're the founders of Loom, are you sort of joking that like it would have been nice to have the unicorn valuation? And if I was the founder, I would have made a deal with Atlassian that I will pay you back, but you got to make the valuation $1 billion.
Fair. No, fair.
Because I want to be in the unicorn
like put
club.
some ratchets on. You could have done.
By the way,
ratchet.
Loom, for those that don't know, Loom records like your sales calls, your demos.
We use it a lot for like, we have a new software. We just got, let's say, Asana, and the operations person is going to teach everyone in the company how to use it.
Yeah.
They're going to walk you through.
It's a screen record for $1 billion.
True. It kind of is, right? I mean,
no, it's not kind of. It is. When people told me in my company, like, "Oh, we're getting a Loom," I was like, "What? Can you
do you pay for Loom?
Screen?
Do you pay for Loom?
Yeah, of course we do. They're fucking scammers.
Everyone does, apparently.
Yeah, it's $1 billion company.
Can't you?
You know what's actually better? And I don't even care. Our mutual friend showed me a Loom.
Yep.
Of Doug Leone, who's one of the founders of Sequoia.
I saw it. I saw it publicly.
I think it's public,
yeah.
right? I didn't know if it was public or not.
Doing what? Oh, he was doing the Loom.
He was doing the Loom, saying like he's in this like massive pool in Hawaii.
Yeah, I saw that.
In like some mansion.
Oh, because you see their video. Yep.
And he's like, I'm looking forward to getting back and working. And he just ducks his head in water.
And goes swimming.
And he was serious.
Yeah.
And Sequoia led their round and they made a fortune.
That's amazing.
You gotta love it.
You gotta love
Billionaires
it.
are pretty good.
All right, you want to talk to you about your boyfriend?
Who's my boyfriend?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, boy. Melissa and Doug.
Travis Cullen, Melissa and Doug.
Taylor, yeah, she crushed it. 126 million.
What did Barbie do?
Good question.
We don't know.
For reference, is Barbie opening weekend is what I'm looking at?
Barbie probably did way more.
But the thing is, I mean, there's zero marginal cost, right?
Yeah.
Because they just recorded a concert.
Yep. Where did they record it?
At SoFi. That's why That's why I got my member sent situation.
That's opening week.
Opening weekend. And
162. I mean, she's right there.
And
so literally just
no
additional
cost.
revenue on top
There's
of
no
your,
cost.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
Because like Barbie actually cost money to make the movie.
I mean, think of the marketing spend.
You have to pay Gosling. You have to pay Margot Robbie.
Taylor's not paying any staff.
No, she's paying everyone bonuses because she's fucking just printing money.
She's
Fake
printing
bonuses.
money. And I don't know if you've seen on social, like it's literally like a party every show.
I have seen that.
And everyone's just dancing and singing.
I have
to the
not
whole
seen
thing.
it because
it looks horrendous for us. Anna would probably love it.
I love it.
Yeah. If you're a Taylor fan, it looks like the funnest thing in the world. It's literally like everyone, just picture that it's like you're at the concert, but you're at a fucking AMC in Nebraska.
Oh, wow. I like that.
They're just raging and everyone's standing up.
Everyone's standing. And
well, yeah, I mean, if you miss the tour, this is your only...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Quite
what she
great.
realized, right? She realized so many people didn't get to see it in America.
I don't think she did. I think her agent at
No, she doesn't
said
actually have an agent.
agency.
I don't think she has an agent. It's just her dad who's a manager.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Well, the rumor is that
There's some...
Whoever I think it's her, because I don't know if there's like
listen,
actually...
for the story, it's better that it's her. So
for your confidence, let's keep
let's
it
just say
her.
it's her. But listen, I
But
did
it's
hear
her agent.
I did hear that her and her parents, this was also the story, could be true, could be not. they did a big controversial move, which is deciding to skip a studio and do the deal directly with AMC, which is a massive disruption because, apparently, obviously you go with the studio takes a huge chunk and then they distribute it to all the theaters, where if you just go straight with AMC directly, so it's not in the other theaters, I believe, then you go direct to theater and you cut out that piece of your margin.
Wow.
And apparently studios are fucking pissed because they're like, well, you just showed that that's possible.
That's incredible because
I think she's like, I mean, I know D hates Taylor Swift, but I think
he just hates how much you like Taylor Swift.
Exactly. Yeah. And then he has to force to hate her. Yeah. Right. But what she's doing is actually incredible business moves.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. But it's the question is who's doing
Steve Jobs. I get it. Great.
I do think
I'm with on it
on this one. I've been with Dion a lot. I'm with on it on this one. We got to give her flowers.
No, what she's doing from a business, no one's done this from a business talent perspective.
Or Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson do it. She's bigger than Michael. Who is on the Michael side?
I'm Michael.
Yeah, she's bigger than Michael.
No, she's not. She's not nowhere near it.
I mean, this is unheard of.
There's not a close
tour.
Do you know Michael Jackson was like the borders of like wars with country, crying? People were crying.
That was fake.
No, but Taylor's like white America.
Nevada.
That's it.
He was in Nevada acting like he was in Afghanistan.
I'm talking about woke, and Taylor's concert is like the whitest shit on earth.
No, but
it's not.
No,
yes, how dare you? Swifties are all
white people. Let me tell you, there's no one. There's not even like Jewish people.
And he can't stand it. I said she's the biggest since, and he keeps referencing Michael. But you can't name an artist that's bigger than since Michael Jackson than Taylor Swift. There's not.
I agree with that. But Michael Jackson is
why are we talking about 30 years ago? Why don't we talk about the current? We're a current podcast.
She's an American artist.
News.
She's not. No one in fucking.
Are you kidding me?
Cares about Taylor Swift.
Are you kidding me?
I'm going to go on record and say I don't think a bigger artist ever in history.
In America.
No, in the
America.
World.
Well, America's all that matters. What else are fucking?
I think Michael Jackson uniquely had something impactful
I see.
globally.
No, but I would.
Let's see her
social media.
Let's see her. Let's see her content. She's about to get back on the road. In Tokyo and Australia, New Zealand,
I gotta
Europe.
see that. By the way, I also want to say I think I'm wrong. Like these guys, Taylor and Travis, are like out in New York.
It's good for business.
Holding hands, but I mean,
it's good for business. Relationship.
I mean, they're definitely it's the real deal.
I know.
It's the real deal as much as any of her relationships have been in the last 10 years.
She's a fraud, so it's fine. It's like
why is she a fraud? Because I like her?
No, because she's always been a fraud.
That's it.
She's
why are you calling her a fraud?
Why is she any more fraud than
Has she bigger fraud than every A-list celebrity we know?
Of course. I don't worship celebrities like you do.
I don't
worship celebrities. I think celebrities are all fraud.
So you have to name every A-list celebrity as a fraud. Name them.
That's what he's saying.
Fraud, 100%. Drake is, Taylor Swift, Leonardo DiCaprio, 100%. They're all frauds.
Okay, if you're willing to say it,
yes, that's fine. I know that celebrities are frauds. I'm not like some dumb fucking. You're like your Usher from fucking South Bend, Indiana. Like, oh yeah, Taylor Swift, she's a sweet girl. No, she's a fraud.
Yeah, that's fair. But as long as you say all celebrities are frauds,
you know who I'm talking about.
As long as you say all celebrities are frauds and don't single out Taylor.
No, I think all celebrities are frauds. Great. I get it. That's their job.
Great.
You could say that.
That's great.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them being frauds.
If you're okay with every A-list celebrity.
Yeah, but don't you dare single out Taylor because she's a nice girl and she's very business savvy.
So savvy.
I mean, she's a billionaire.
Taylor Swavy.
I'd love to be a billionaire.
Did you see that Beyonce went to the premiere?
At the Grove?
I don't know if it was at the Grove. Anna would know that. But they, there was kind of this whole thing of like, is she bigger than Beyonce? Beyonce's bigger. Like there was a little bit of a thing starting there.
Look,
Beyonce
objectively,
Beyonce had to kiss the ring.
Objectively, I think Taylor Swift is bigger than Beyonce.
That's not even a question.
That's not even a question. Not objectively.
Close.
Why would you even preference?
Come on.
No, because
objectively. How dare you?
Because it's like you're just trying to do it because you know I like her. It's not even you sound stupid.
No, I don't sound stupid.
Get with the times, Steve.
You're racist. You don't think Beyonce's bigger?
No chance she's bigger.
Okay.
Racist.
Oh, you're racist. I'm sorry.
I'm a racist.
That's racist. Wow. Wow.
You're getting kicked out of one of your groups.
Wow.
For that. Yeah.
Let me tell you about the Palestinian group in fucking Harvard. They're going to kick your ass out.
You're out now. Your name's off the list.
You think a white Christian woman is going to
smart enough to Harvard?
White Christian woman?
Country woman? Yeah, right.
Yeah, white Christian country artist?
I Okay.
So white people are still supreme. Good for them.
In Anand's book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taylor and Travis, great romantic
Great
story.
white romantic.
Yeah, you love that. All right.
I actually have a shout out first.
Well, let me finish. Let me finish the one I got to read.
Huh?
Efren to Gabriella. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Gabriella, on her 24th birthday. Amazing wife, passionate teacher, and a loving stepmom. Grateful to have her in my life, and I can't wait to celebrate this special day. Here's to many more wonderful years together. Love you. Wow, 24 years old. I definitely, at 24, had no idea what love was.
24, she's in love. She's married. Sorry. No, shout out to my beautiful wife, Gabriella.
Yeah.
Gabriella is in love, like you just said, married, already a teacher, and a stepmom.
Yeah.
24.
Do you know
24, I couldn't keep a puppy alive.
You gave your puppy alive.
I gave it away. Right now I'm struggling at 36. But 24, I literally gave away a dog because I thought I was going to die.
We know who you gave it to.
Yes.
Is that dog still kicking?
The original one was Kelly.
Yeah.
Good question. Unclear.
That should be canceled
Unclear.
too.
I know the second one that I gave away is kicking.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Also with an old employee of Young. I was just handing out dogs. Yeah.
You were being
So props to Gabriella. Props to Gabriella.
All right, who's your shout out?
Yeah,
My shout out. Sorry, like in light of like how much controversy and like people thinking everyone sucks, our son Maverick got to play soccer this morning.
Saw that
at AYSO. Epic is the name of the organization that organizes it, and it's for special needs kids. And obviously, Maverick, if you've listened to the podcast long enough, he's obviously been through a lot. And these 15-year-old kids in the neighborhood,
Oh wow, they're the coaches.
they literally volunteer on the
That's
weekend
incredible.
That's cool.
That's
to
awesome.
make him experience what soccer's like.
That's in your neighborhood?
Yeah, it's down the street.
Yeah.
And I think, there's good people out there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's for sure.
In Indiana.
It's just not on the internet. It's just the fucking internet.
If you turn off your phone, so the funny was today I was so tired. I slept like 4 hours. I go to do run club with my kids, and then we play soccer and we're playing baseball. I'm literally dead. So I didn't look at my phone all day.
Yep.
The mood, and I get like why you do your phone limits.
Yeah.
If you choose not to look at social media,
Oh, it feels great.
your perspective on life is so different.
It's so true.
It's not like I had, these two boys that I'm raising that like, man, I don't want them to. So I'm very careful with my phone around my kids if they see what I'm looking at.
Yep.
I was watching a video about Israeli Palestine stuff.
Yep.
And they're like, what's that? And I was like, I felt fucking terrible because I just not ready for that to happen
It's
to
like
their
they
life.
inhaled like secondhand cigarette smoke or something.
Yeah. They're like, what's that guy saying to everybody?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
No, but so to your point, we show up to the school. You know where it is. It's a predominantly Jewish neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm brown. I show up with my kid, and everything's all good.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, showing up and getting him to kick the ball, blah, blah, blah. Like, the world's not as complicated as we want to make it to seem based on social media.
It's so true. It's bad, man. Look, everyone out there, just do what D did. I'm not trying to be that guy that preaches about social media or deleting your apps or whatever, but just put your phone down, put on Do Not Disturb, go do something new.
I think just going out and interacting with people will make you feel better.
And get out of your bubble,
No,
that's the key.
We
The
went
key-
way out of our bubble this fucking weekend.
That's what I'm talking about.
And
I didn't. That's my bubble.
But you're still.
No, sorry. D, we walked through the streets of South Bend, even though that.
This guy's making it sound like South Bend is Gaza Strip. It's
No,
fucking not.
my point is.
But the point is that's out of your daily routine.
We would never be around a South Bend, Indiana crew.
Yeah.
And we walked through and everything was fine.
Yeah, look.
So, and if you were to look on social media, if you were international, you would think 2 brown guys in South Bend, Indiana, you're going to get fucking killed.
Would you say international? Not international. Probably if you're on your phone 2 miles down the road in Indiana.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, isn't fucking everyone getting...
I would even flip it on the other way. The fact that there were not more Indian kids at the game.
Yeah.
Knowing that there's Indian kids at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Was kind of like disappointing.
Yeah.
Or more Indian kids at USC. Like, why didn't you go?
Yeah. You said you saw the 2.
I saw the 2.
You saw 2.
USC has Indian kids. Why wasn't there 500 Indian kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I was saying is just like out of your normal, like don't be like, okay, I'm not going to be on my phone because I'm going to play video games or I'm going to watch Netflix. Like go out, hang out with some people and just notice how you feel. Feels great. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Bye.
I hope you liked it. Everyone have a great week. Keep your spirits high. And especially in the time when...
Stay optimistic.
Stay optimistic, but also just be really careful during... it's almost like how they give like air quality alerts on the weather app. Air quality is really bad today. Social media, like mental health is really bad right now. So definitely like, do what you got to do to stay in the know, but take a break. Time to time. All right, that's it. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.